Have you ever felt a little dizzy and brushed it off as just getting older? Or maybe you've noticed your arm feeling weak for a few minutes and thought, it'll pass. Well, here's the truth. These moments might be much more serious than you think. Because in America, every 40 seconds someone has a stroke. And for those of us over 60, the risk rises dramatically. But here's the good news. Stroke is not a death sentence. It's not even inevitable. Today, we're going to talk about how you can lower your stroke risk, spot the early warning signs, and make lifestyle changes that not only help you live longer, but better. What is a stroke, really? Let's start with the basics. A stroke happens when blood flow to part of your brain gets cut off. This could be due to a blood clot blocking a vessel, called an ischemic stroke, which makes up nearly 87% of all strokes, or a blood vessel bursting, a hemorrhagic stroke. When blood stops flowing, brain cells begin to die within minutes. And depending on which part of the brain is affected, the damage can be mild or life-altering. But here's what most people don't realize. Up to 80% of strokes are preventable. That's right, you have more power than you think. Meet Margaret. 72, a story that could save your life. Let me introduce you to Margaret, a retired school teacher from Ohio. At 72, she was active, witty, and still sharp as a tack. She loved crossword puzzles, evening walks, and her weekly yoga class. One morning, she was making breakfast when she dropped her coffee mug. She tried to reach down to pick it up, but her right hand wouldn't move. She looked in the mirror and noticed one side of her face drooping. Her first instinct was to lie down and rest. Thankfully, her daughter arrived early and recognized the signs. She called 911 immediately. Margaret had a minor ischemic stroke, but because she got to the hospital within the critical 3-hour window, she made a full recovery. What saved her life? Quick action and awareness of stroke warning signs. SOS. The fast warning signs you must know. If you only remember one thing from this video, let it be this. FACE. Face. Ask the person to smile. Is one side drooping? A. Arms. Ask them to raise both arms. Does one drift downward? S. Speech. Is speech slurred or strange? Time. If you see any of these signs, call 911 immediately. Don't wait. Don't drive yourself to the hospital. Don't assume it'll go away. Every minute counts. For every minute without oxygen, the brain loses nearly 2 million neurons. Stroke risk increases after 60. But you can fight back now, you might be wondering. I'm already 65 or 75. Am I too late to prevent stroke? Absolutely not. In fact, the steps you take today can dramatically reduce your risk in the next few months, even if you've already had a small stroke or TIA, transient ischemic attack, often called a mini-stroke. Let's break down the biggest risk factors you can control. 1. High blood pressure, the #1 stroke risk for seniors. High blood pressure, hypertension, is called the silent killer for a reason. It damages blood vessels, makes them stiff, and increases the chances of both clot and rupture. Over time, it's like adding pressure to a garden hose. Eventually, something gives. Here's what to do. Check your blood pressure at home, regularly. Aim for under 130/80 mmHg. Cut back on salt. Try to stay under 1,500 mg/day day. Eat potassium-rich foods like bananas, spinach, sweet potatoes, and beans. Talk to your doctor about medications if needed. This is not the time to tough it out. Fun fact, every 10-point drop in systolic blood pressure cuts stroke risk by up to 30%. 2. Unhealthy diet. Time to rethink. What's on your plate? Your diet directly affects cholesterol, blood sugar, and inflammation, all contributors to stroke. For seniors, focusing on brain-friendly, heart-protective foods is essential. Eat more of these. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, trout. 2 to 3 times a week leafy greens like kale, spinach, arugula berries, blueberries, strawberries. Nuts, especially walnuts and almonds, olive oil instead of butter, whole grains like oats. Brown rice, quinoa, limit or avoid. Processed meats, bacon, ham, sausage, fried foods, sugary drinks, refined carbs, white bread, pastries, excessive alcohol. Pro tip: the Mind diet, a hybrid of Mediterranean and DASH, is clinically proven to reduce stroke and dementia risk in older adults. 3. Physical inactivity, the silent risk you can easily beat you. Don't have to run marathons or do high-intensity interval training. Even 30 minutes of walking a day, 5 days a week, can slash your stroke risk by 25%. Simple exercises like chair yoga light, strength training with resistance bands, water aerobics, tai chi, all improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, and help maintain balance and coordination, which also lowers your fall risk. Remember, movement is medicine. 4. Diabetes and prediabetes. Manage your blood sugar. Now elevated blood sugar can damage blood vessels and increase clotting, both of which raise stroke risk. What you can do: check your A1C regularly, aim for under 7.0%, reduce sugary foods and drinks. Eat smaller, balanced meals throughout the day. Combine carbs with fiber, fat, or protein to slow sugar spikes. Talk with your doctor or a dietitian to create a manageable plan. Even small improvements help. 5. Smoking. If you're still smoking, this is the time to quit. Smoking doubles your stroke risk. But here's the encouraging part. Within just 2 years of quitting, your risk of stroke drops significantly. After 5 years, it can be nearly the same as someone who never smoked. And no, it's never too late. Many people successfully quit in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Ask your doctor about nicotine patches or lozenges, counseling, or support groups, prescription medications like Chantix or bupropion. You're not weak for needing help. You're strong for choosing to try. Closing words for part 1. So, here's what we've learned so far. Stroke is serious, but largely preventable. Recognize fast symptoms and act quickly. Manage your blood pressure. Eat for brain and heart health. Move your body daily. Quit smoking if you still do, and don't ignore even the smallest warning signs. In part 2, we'll go even deeper into stroke recovery and rehabilitation, including what to do after a stroke, how to regain strength and speech, and the surprising habits that boost brain healing. We'll also look at emotional recovery, dealing with fear, and building a support network after a health scare. Before we go, here's a question for you. Have you or someone you love ever experienced a stroke? Share your story in the comments. It could help someone else spot the signs early. Remember, you have more control over your health than you think, and every small step you take matters.